This is vocabulary list 49. These are signs about the past, the future, and duration of time. I'll mention a couple of things before we learn the signs and a couple of things after, just to make sure that you know how to use these signs, since they're a little bit different than how we say things in English. All right, so first of all, remember that verb tenses in ASL are simple. They only require a sign related to time. So, for example, starting a sentence with yesterday puts all the verbs and actions in what's to come in that sentence in past tense, because you just said yesterday. So that's in the past. Everything that you're going to be saying that you did yesterday, all those verbs are past tense verbs. All right, so here are a few more signs to indicate time, including past tense. So we're going to start with a sign for ago, or past, or before. So you want a flat hand shape with your dominant hand. You're going to turn your palm facing behind you, and then you're going to just move back a little bit into the past. So ago, before, past. If I say I'm going to brush my teeth before I shower, that's not really this. This means a while ago, before. If you're talking about one thing followed by the next thing, then you would use the sign for before. But here, when we're talking about tense, verb tense and past, it's ago, past, or before. The sign for recently or just, like I just did this, is an X hand shape. You're going to turn it around so you're pointing back to the past. Set it on your cheek and then wiggle your finger just a little bit. Just recently. Month ago is how we sign what we would say in English last month. So month ago, month ago. I've also seen past month. You can do that as well, but month ago. Last week, or like a week ago, is, so remember this is the sign for week. Week. I have seen a few actually different palm orientations for this. You can sign last week. So you're taking your week and you're putting it back into the past, okay? Last week, a week ago. You can turn your dominant hand to have your palm sideways this way, week ago. Or sorry, well, yeah, last week. So we did palm this way, we did palm this way. I've also seen it with both palms facing you before you do put your week back into the past. All right, so that's last week or a week ago. Last year can be signed two different ways. So it's kind of a compound sign where you just kind of squishing all the information into one sign. So if you were to say last year, you'd be signing a year ago, 1 year ago. So you could sign 1 year ago, but more correct ASL would be last year or a year ago, last year. So you can see where the kind of the year is in there, last year. So it's year 1 ago is kind of how it works. Last year, a year ago. Or sometimes people will just sign it last year. Even shorter. A long time ago is signed used to. You can see that they look almost the same. Long time ago, though, means you're going further back into the distance, into the past, sorry. And used to is just like, yeah, a little bit into the past. Used to do that. Used to like that. So it's the palm orientation is the same, the movement is the same. It's just the amount of movement that differentiates between a long time ago and used to. 2 days ago and 3 days ago are next on our list, and they are related to the sign yesterday. So instead of signing in ASL 2 days ago or even 2 days ago, instead you sign 2 days ago. Remember the French 2 we talked about when we learned our 20s? So 2 days ago, instead of just yesterday, 2 days ago, and then similarly, 3 days ago. 3 days ago. 2 days ago, 3 days ago. All right, will or future is a flat hand shape. You're just going to bring it into the future, bring it in front of you. The distant future looks almost the same, just like I was talking about with long time ago and used to. Will or future is just a little bit here. If you're talking about like way far into the future, distant future, you're just going to move out further into the future. Again, it's the movement, the amount of movement that differentiates between those signs and clarifies the meaning. Do you mean like next year, or you mean like in 30 years, right? Okay. Let's see, what is next? Where are we? Soon. So there are 3 different ways of signing soon. One is, well, actually, 2 of them have F hand shapes. One is soon. I will say I see this one most. Or there is soon. So you just dip it kind of by the front of your nose, soon. And then there's soon, which is actually how I learned it. Soon. Next week. So this can be signed in 2 different but very similar ways, kind of like we talked about last week. You just change that palm orientation a little bit. For next week, you're going to do, like for last week, you did week past, week in the past. Now we're going to do a week in the future. So it's going to come out in front of you. So next week, you start with week, and then you just bring it around and put it out there in the future. Next week. I see plenty of deaf people signing it this way. I learned it this way, which is, I believe, the way that's in your Master ASL book. So instead of having, so the first way I just showed you is palms together, then move it out into the future. The way I just showed you, the second way, is to have actually both of your palms facing you. You're looking at both of your palms. And then you're going to dip that week, this finger, dip your week down and bring it out into the future, okay? Next week. Next week. Or next week. All right, next year it's similar to last year, but it's just the opposite. Okay, so instead of a year ago or last year, you're going to bring it out into the future. Next year. We are also going to learn the signs for in 2 days and in 3 days. Think about it as similar but opposite to 2 days ago and 3 days ago, right? So 2 days ago and 3 days ago were related to yesterday. Similarly, in 2 days and in 3 days are related to tomorrow. So this is tomorrow. Change that to the French 2 hand shape. In 2 days, 2 days into the future. And then change it to the French 3 hand shape, and you've got in 3 days. 3 days into the future. In 3 days. All right, we've got 3 signs left on this list. One is fast. You can start with 2 L hand shapes, point them like in front of you, and then you bring your hands back quickly, fast, and bring those fingers in, okay? Fast, fast. I've also seen it with all the fingers out, fast, fast. Either one. All right, long is just an L hand shape on your dominant hand. You're going to just put your palm down and bring it slowly up your arm. Long, long. The last sign is a sign for stay. So you want 2 Y hand shapes with your palms facing down, and then you will move your dominant hand down. I've also seen it stay. I've also, let's see. Yeah, I think it's both. Both come together at the same time. So stay or stay. I sign it this way, obviously, which is why I couldn't remember the other way. Okay. A couple of notes. So keep in mind that this is how you indicate specific times in the past too. This is done a little differently than it is in English. So in ASL, if you're going to say last Tuesday, I studied ASL last Tuesday. You actually would sign last week, Tuesday. That's more correct in ASL. Rather than past Tuesday, it's actually last week, Tuesday. And then like maybe saying next April, I'm going to do this. You would, instead of saying future April, you just do next year, April. Okay, next year, April. All right, and then one last note, just remember what you learned previously about numerical incorporation. So to sign my grandma is coming in 2 days. She will stay 3 months. You're going to incorporate those numbers. So my grandma is coming. I should do that the other way. I did that wrong. So the time sign is going to come first. So in 2 days. So we're going to do in 2 days, 2 days future. So again, my grandma is coming in 2 days. She will stay 3 months. All right, so those are some signs about the past, future, some duration signs to help you sign better ASL. So that's vocabulary list 49.